Alex and Jordan grew up side by side. From the time they were children, their lives were intertwined. They played together on the same streets, went to the same schools, and dreamed of conquering the world together. If Alex had an idea, Jordan was there to support it. If Jordan stumbled, Alex was always the first to pick him back up. They weren't just friends. They were family in every sense but blood. To anyone who saw them together, their bond appeared unbreakable. For years, the friendship flourished. They celebrated each other's victories and helped one another through failures. They laughed until their sides ached, built plans for the future, and promised that no matter what happened, they would face it together. To Alex, Jordan was the one person he could always rely on, the one constant in a world that never stopped changing. But beneath the surface, small cracks had begun to form. Jordan carried something within him that Alex never noticed, or perhaps chose not to see. There were moments when Jordan's smile didn't quite reach his eyes. Times when a comment meant to sound supportive carried a sharper edge. At first, these things seemed harmless. Friends had disagreements. After all, no bond was perfect. Over time, the unease grew. Jordan's envy began as little more than shadows in the background, but shadows have a way of spreading. Alex achieved success, and though Jordan congratulated him, there was a bitterness hidden behind the words. It lingered in glances and silences, in the way Jordan's voice hardened when the attention shifted to Alex. The friendship that once brought him joy now stoked his resentment. Ambition has a way of reshaping loyalty. When opportunity presented itself, Jordan made his choice. The bond they had built over years was no longer enough. He wanted more recognition, more control, more for himself. And to take it, he was willing to sacrifice the very foundation of their friendship. It began slowly. Little lies, carefully placed. Small manipulations that at first seemed harmless, but each one built upon the other, weaving a web Alex couldn't see. Secrets he had entrusted to Jordan were twisted into weapons. Confidences became leverage. What had once been trust was turned against him, reshaped into betrayal. The moment of truth arrived suddenly, like a storm breaking in the night. Alex discovered the deception, not from a stranger, not from an enemy outside his circle, but from a very friend he had once called his brother. The realization struck harder than any physical blow. The knife in his back was not wielded by an outsider. It was held by the hand he had once trusted most. The devastation was complete. In that instant, every memory they'd shared collapsed under the weight of betrayal. The laughter that had once filled their days now fell hollow. The promises they'd made now rang like lies. The victories they had celebrated together seemed tainted, poisoned by the knowledge that envy had been festering all along. What had felt so real, so unshakable, now looked like a carefully constructed illusion. The fallout was brutal.